Welcome to the Modestly Magnificent podcast, the website for dreamers who take action. On this podcast, we interview people transitioning into new careers in the tech field. We learn about how they prepare their life for the transition, what courses they may take, how they stay motivated when faced with adversity, and the job searching process. Join me, your host, Tamar Buchanan, as we follow along on their journey. Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Modestly Magnificent podcast. I'm here today with Christine, another fellow from the Data Science for All Empowerment Program, and we're going to jump into it with her and hear all about her story. So welcome, Christine.
Hello, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, and I'm so happy for you to be here. Why don't we start off with you introducing yourself and just tell us a little bit more about you.
Okay, my name is Christine, and I have started to a new journey and pivoting into the data science. My past experience has been working in retail and then moving into the banking business, and then from there moving into the printing industry, and then more into administrative roles to where I'm at now, which is at a community college. I'm working in an auxiliary service in our cashier's office. So I meet hundreds and hundreds of students each day at the community college. This was the pre-pandemic for all that. And it's just really inspiring to see all these students that are coming in and starting their careers and what they want to do, and some of them don't even know. So, they're in the perfect spot to figure all this out.
Yes.
And I'm at a spot where I want to move up or change departments for the more into the data world, because I see, the need for it, and working with our students and hearing what they want to accomplish versus what the college is offering. They're kind of missing the mark for what they're seeing. So what I did, I took the opportunity during this pandemic time to join committees at my work, because there was more time available to do it by Zoom versus being on the campus. So that was a big plus for myself to do that, and to also learn what our faculty are doing, what our district office is doing, and then to also put in my input, because they had questions and I would fill those holes for them. So they were surprised, where we were at and how to just getting the bigger picture. And we all have that main goal of supporting our students and helping them become successful in what they want to do for that. So along the way that, the committees I joined was we call it a lighthouse training. And that one was, it was training us in the First Amendment, microaggressions and bullying and, bystander intervention, and focusing on the higher education environment. So learned quite a bit about that, not just to be a bystander, but to step in for that. And that's, for me, is what I've had a hard time doing, because I find myself to be more on the shyer side. So I've been taking these steps to, for personal growth, to do that, and also became a member for the of a committee of equal employment opportunity monitor. So as we're hiring, committees are formed. We sit on there to make sure everything is followed through, and that they're following the steps, and that's all equal across, asking the same questions, making the candidate feel warm and welcome, and that it's equitable across. And another part I've been involved with is it's diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I've learned with that, we have a new department that is heavily focused now on that. So I'm just trying to hit all those marks, just for personal growth, for my work, and for my a future job. So I've been contemplating switching out of the college and using everything that I've learned so far, along with the data science, to transfer maybe into human resources.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your story, listening to your story kind of reminds me of the people analytics type of role where you're working with like customers or employers, and but you still have that data analytics side, like user stories and all of that. So yeah, it would be really interesting to hear where you end up once you make your pivot from the college.
Yeah, I'm hoping to, once I was in these committees, I was on another committee, enrollment management committee.
Mm-hmm.
The data that they were bringing forward and sharing with everybody, in my mind, I wasn't seeing what they were pulling out of the data compared to my one-on-one with students that come into our office. And where I work at, we have like up to 8,000 students a year that come to our campus, whether it's online or in person. And so what the feedback I was getting from them, because I would ask them questions or they would just outright share with me, what they wanted to do or their frustrations. And I just see a disconnect. And I'm not sure I'm not sure the surveys they're sending out, who they're going out to, and when they come back and how they sort that out. So that's kind of what piqued my interest, seeing the bigger picture from these other departments on there. So I wanted to dive deeper, how can I make a difference? How can I ask the right questions of the people that were presenting this data and where they were getting it from?
Okay, wow. Yeah, you definitely have a lot of insider information from all of the committees that you've been sitting on. So tell me a little bit more about your data science journey and experience. Before the program, the Data Science for All Empowerment program, had you taken any data science classes or attended any data science type webinar? Or were you even maybe taking classes at the college that you work at?
I have no experience at all with the data science. The most that comes closest to it is the Excel, which I use daily. So I've done that. I had the opportunity several times along my journey when I worked in the banking industry. We did everything by hand at that time, and then we were explained, oh, we're going to be getting computers, and we're all thinking this has to be the early 80s. I'm thinking computers. I go, I'm thinking to myself, oh, that's just going to be a fad, and I look back now, I'm just like, oh boy, what a mistake that was. So I went, and one of the coworkers, she saw the light, and she was taking computer classes, COBOL, and some other ones, and she told me, come along with me and take it. So I tried starting it, and it was just a whole foreign language. I didn't get it, and so I dropped out. And then I moved out of there. I went to the banking. From the banking, I went into the printing industry. And at that time, they weren't using computers for digital prepress. We were doing everything by hand. So then eventually, the computers start coming in, and it was digital prepress. So what we did by hand was now on the computers. And so during that part, I was learning little by little. But then they wanted me to move over to be more of a production and managing. So that's where I kind of pivoted away from on the computer, but actually just managing and working with the sales force, working with the production people, making sure jobs were getting out on time. So at that point, it was around me. I just didn't see it. I didn't jump in and take that opportunity, to learn more for that. So at that time, I started taking more management classes and leadership classes for that. And then from there is when I moved into the education side. So I went into there and working on, work on the computers. I'm doing, research on students' accounts. We have different programs that are special to the college for that. And so I've always been around the computers, but I just never put the two and two together to move forward. So during the pandemic, it was actually my daughter's boyfriend. He sent me this TikTok, And so it's funny to say, but I was looking at it like, okay, what is this? So I went and I created an account, went on there, and
Yeah.
I was looking for more for positivity. And so I found different influencers that were doing that. And then I came across this one person. Her name is Catherine Patterson. And she was promoting the data science, and her journey that she'd been doing for 25 years. And
Wow.
she just had made it so interesting. And where she started from being, she went in as a like an executive secretary, just being around it. And she started taking classes. And so she explained her journey for that. And then she mentioned about the DS4A for
Okay.
correlation one. And that was about probably like October. So she just made it, she did say up front, it's a lot of work.
Okay.
She was straightforward about it. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna, apply and just see what happens. So December, I put in the application, didn't hear anything until probably like probably January, that to go to the next level, to taking this test. I did that and just waited. And I'm thinking, oh, I probably didn't pass because there was, Python exercises and stuff, and no clue what that was. And then I got to do the interview. I'm like, oh my goodness, it was a one-sided, one-way interview. And it's like, I almost didn't do it because I was like, no, I was telling myself, I was too scared, to do this interview. And I almost didn't do it. I was ready just to let it go. And I said, no, I can't do that. Just do it. Just go through it. That's going to be at least an accomplishment that you did. So I did it. I had everybody in my household just stay in their rooms. I said, don't come out for an hour. And I was getting these texts from them. He goes, can we come out now? And I would quickly text back, no, stay where you're at. And so once it was done, I just felt like a sense of accomplishment just to do that interview. And if that's all that it went for, then I was happy with that. Because I was just out of my comfort zone again. And then I got an email like 2 weeks later that said that I was in, and I used to do the pre class for the Python. So I was just like thrilled to death. I was surprised and excited to do it.
Yeah, wow. Congratulations, if you hadn't told yourself that from, the moment you got in, like, because it was a hard process. That pre-test for the application was difficult for me. Like, I don't know how everyone else felt, but after taking it, I thought, wow, I bombed that. But and then like doing the one-way interview, that was my first time also doing an interview like that, one-way recorded interview. And yeah, this whole process has been very, very interesting. Another interviewee mentioned that they found out about the program via TikTok. So you're the second person to say that. And I find that really cool. So how have you found the program, like the structure of the program and studying? And, we are in week 10 or 11 at this point. We're almost done. How has your journey been so far?
It's been a hard work. It's been very